If you want to get better as a musician, this is what I think you need to do. First tip, tell yourself you're going to memorize 6 songs that week and do not eat until you've memorized all 6 songs. I guarantee you will figure out ways to memorize your music faster, because what you need are not really tips, but it's really pressure and motivation. All right, that was sort of a joke, but I was sort of serious. Hey guys, let's talk about the different tools that I use to remember music more easily. With that, I'm going to come outside of the genres that I'm familiar with, and I'm going to talk about these tools using classical music, because it's still a genre that I have to analyze a whole lot more than jazz, gospel, or a whole lot of other genres. So let's take the piece Canon in D. Okay, so what are some tools that I use? Something that I use a lot of shapes. So in order to remember the music better, I think, okay, what are the shapes that my fingers are in that position? And I notice in the first part of that piece, right? My fingers are in the D, holding a D major chord, and they stay there for a little bit. Okay, so for the first part of that, I used the D shape. I was thinking my fingers stay in this triangular position, right? Okay, another tool that I use is I take what I already know about music. So I am pretty familiar with my major scales, and so I realize, wait a minute, they're just going up the D major scale starting on A. Okay, so a tool that you can use is you can try to think what position is my hand in? What is the shape in that right there in the music? Another tool that you can use is you can think, what are things that I know about music already that I can use to remember? And so one of the tools that I used was a scale here. Okay. Another tool that I use is my progressions. So I think, okay, when I'm looking at a piece of classical music, I'm like, man, I cannot try to remember every single note that's there. So what I do is I think, okay, what are the chords for the next 4 measures? And here I notice that it's a D, which is a 1, to a 5, to a 6, to a 3. Okay? So because of that, I realize it's a 1, 4, 6, 3 progression. That registers in my mind a whole lot more quickly than try to remember, okay, what are the notes? It's a D, F sharp, A, it's a C sharp, E, it's a B, D, F sharp. You get the idea. Another tool that I use is I ask myself, are there any arpeggios within the music that I'm playing? So, are there any chords that they're just simply playing the notes separately, right? So, a good piece of music to look at that would be this one. Okay, so many of you know what the intro for that is. What they're really playing is a C7, a B minor 7, an A minor 7 to a G major 7. Once I realize that, I don't have to think about, okay, what are the individual notes that they're playing? They're playing an E, C in the left hand, B, and G. I don't have to think about that. I just realize, okay, it's a C7, B minor 7, A minor 7, to a G major 7, okay? So that's another tool you can use is you can say, hey, what are are there any arpeggios in the music? Are there any chords I recognize that they're just playing the notes not together, okay? Let's talk about shapes one more time. And I think about this especially, I mean, in a lot of styles of music, but like in modern music, a lot of times you can get away with just memorizing one shape to another. So I'm going to use a 6, 4, 1, 5 progression, right? And I'm playing this C sharp minor, And I realized, wait a minute, I can get to the 4 by simply moving my thumb to the A, right? So I'm at the 6, and I can get to the 4 by moving my thumb to the A, rather than thinking, okay, I'm going from C sharp minor. What are the notes in A major again? Okay? Sometimes it's good to think of music in terms of shape. So that's something else I do. And then while I'm at this A, I realize, hey, all I have to remember is my thumb goes down to the G sharp and my middle finger comes down to the B for the E. Rather than thinking, what are the notes in E major? A good way to memorize music is really to think about it in another way, right? Maybe not thinking about it in as single pieces, but rather what is like think about it in terms of groups, right? Like what is happening in this group, then what is happening that connects this group of notes to the next group, then what is happening in this group of notes that connects it to the next group, right? Now, what's happening in this group of notes that connects it to the next group? I realize, okay, my pinky should go here, my middle finger should go here, and my thumb should go here. Okay? Rather than thinking, what are the notes in B major? So sometimes it may be something you may have to do on your own as to figure out how do you memorize music better. All right. Let's talk about the last point. Guys, so most of you are going to take these tips and you're actually not going to apply them. Some of you will, I know, but some of you won't. And that's not really being negative. That's just really speaking to the reality. The truth is, and this is my final tip for you, you don't have enough motivation and you don't have enough pressure. So let me tell you a story. When I was in school, I made fairly decent grades, but I didn't make these grades because of this desire for my education. I only cared about a couple of subjects. One was music. You know what I was really concerned about? My parents at home. I was afraid of getting a whooping, quite frankly. In college, I made better grades than I made in high school and junior high school. But you know why? I was afraid of losing my scholarship and being kicked out of school for not having the funds. And it's the same thing musically for me. I got better musically when I was placed in situations where I had to get better. It wasn't simply my own desire. Yes, the desire was there, but there was also some pressure. There was pressure when I worked at a church in Chattanooga, and this church was phenomenal. The pastor was amazing, the music minister was amazing, but there was a pressure on the band to learn sometimes 6 songs a week, and they were often difficult songs. However, I got better as a musician. So my challenge to you, and really what you need is you need pressure and you need motivation. So this is what I would like to encourage you to do. I would say if you want to memorize music better, I would say start playing for a band that plays more music. I would say get around better musicians. That's gonna make you better. That's gonna cause you to memorize music better. I would say volunteer for maybe a local school, or try to get a job, or even just volunteer your time to play for a restaurant in town. Just doing that alone is gonna place pressure on you to where you have to memorize songs, okay? So if you wanna get better, place yourself in a situation where you are forced to get better. That is guaranteed to make you better. Hey, I am so glad you watched this video. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. And also, go ahead and check out our website, worshipleaderhangout.com. There you're gonna find all our videos, in addition to the different PDFs that me and Chad provide for you. Some of them are free, some of them you have to pay a small price for. But hey, that just helps support this channel. Also, we got courses coming out. The first course is completed, and much of the content is out there already. I just think we're waiting on a few more things, but be looking out for that one. Hey, that one's gonna make you better. Anyway, until next time, remember this: great worship leaders are always learning. I'll see you next time.